Worship is a word that we hear a lot. I do. It's thrown around a lot. Um, when I was growing up, I used to attend a fairly liberal Baptist church in California, and church meant, as I said, Sunday school. We would go and listen to stories and sing songs. Um, the adults, meanwhile, would go listen to somebody lecture for about an hour and sing songs. And we all got dressed up to look nice, respect, but without any particular object to worship or ritual that was very meaningful. I never really had a sense of why we went there or what it was for. Um, yes, there was communion, but in the Protestant sects, it's not as presented in quite the mystical way that it is in, say, Catholicism. But in any case, later when I began to think about worship and what it means, I had also by then been exposed to Hindu forms of worship, which are um, quite different in that there's a very focused attention on the deity being worshipped. And I came to understand that despite the great difference between, say, the Protestant and Hindu forms of worship, there is a common element in worship. And it's probably common in most religions. I'm guessing. If you know different, let me know. But all the forms of worship involve turning one's attention toward whatever concept of deity is there. You can say, of course, Buddhists don't acknowledge anything like deities. That's not entirely true. They actually do acknowledge deities. They just don't think of them as absolute rulers of the universe in quite the way that others do. But in any case, and they reverence Buddha not so much as a deity, but as an ideal toward which we all aspire. That's very good. In any case, there's a directing of attention toward the object. And in addition to the attention, which is a sort of yogic idea, the idea of intentionally turning your attention toward an object is sort of the fundamental yogic notion, which gains greater power in deeper meditational techniques where attention is very deeply trained on the object. So there's that. But also, in addition to this direction of attention, there's also a direction of emotion, of feeling. And within the Hindu pantheon, or the Hindu system, those feelings are graded into 5 basic steps. Those can be broken down even farther, but the first one is directing attention toward the deity with a sense of awe, the majesty and the wonder of the infinite and all-powerful, not Oz, but God, Goddess. So there's that. And then a next step, which is each step you get a little bit more intensity of feeling and or more intimacy of feeling, or both. The next step would be approaching the deity, turning attention to the deity with a sense of service, of being a child of the deity or a servant or even a slave, if you like that concept. The deity would be next. Then the next step from that is thinking of the deity as a friend. It's more intimate. And each step that we go up, there's less emphasis on the power of the deity and more on the intimacy of the relationship. So beyond the friend, then looking upon the deity as a child. That's where you think of yourself as the parent, and the deity is a child. In Christianity, you get that sense around Christmas time with the baby Jesus. But that also exists in Hinduism with the baby Krishna and the baby Rama or baby whoever you want it to be. Anyway, where you have a sense of a little child who is under your care. And the most intense, the most intimate relationship is the relationship of lovers. And it's interesting and significant that within the Tantric tradition, it's not the marriage relationship that's considered the most intimate or most intense, but it's this lover relationship. And within the Vaishnava tradition, you get this idea of the gopis, the cowherd girls, and there's also gopas, cowherd boys, who have this loving relationship with Krishna. Now, all the gopis are married women, and yet they're mad for Krishna. So there's a sense of illicitness in their devotion to Krishna, because they are married women and their devotion should be toward their husbands. And so there's scandal. But this scandalous, illicit love is the most intense, and anyone who's ever been involved in scandalous, illicit love, and many gay people have felt certainly that their love is scandalous and illicit, at least as viewed by society, can understand something of the power and intensity of that form of emotional approach to God. So, turning attention is the basic aspect of worship, bringing emotion on top of that, some kind of loving feeling, whether it's simple awe or the most intimate kind of love or feeling. And then in the Tantras, this directing of attention gets even more detailed kind of direction and visualizations. And the purpose of these visualizations is to bring you into union with the deity as a stepping stone from your usual material consciousness to the universal consciousness. So there's the human experience, then through visualization and mantra, which are kind of magic formulas, if you will, you transform your body and mind into the body and mind of the deity, attenuating your own humanness, accentuating the divine. And then the step beyond that is merging into the substratum, the conscious substratum of the universe. And then re-emerging from that in a new, reformed body made of light, of consciousness, and then seeing the world, experiencing the world as the deity experiences.